welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV. Yeah, here in Madonna, where I want to do the level 80 quest for the Red Mage, which begins with Aria. Serenia, I was about to go look for you. I've had a letter from Suntia and he asked me to pass on a message. Aria, I hope this missive finds you well. Should you come across Serenia in Revenant's Toll, pray send her to me in the Alamigan quarter. I have need of her help. What could be happening in Alamigo, I wonder? Well, I suppose there's one sure way to find out. Let's go. Suntia, if you thought she wouldn't come along, then you're a bigger fool than I took you for. Ah, wonderful to see my two erstwhile students, and not a moment too soon. We are glad to see you too soon. I gather the situation is not a happy one. You gather correctly. You recall the brotherhood I once was part of? The Crimson Duelist? Well, it seems the keepsakes left behind by my deceased colleagues have run afoul of some enterprising Graverobbers. The duelists met their end some 2 decades past and was too deeply engaged in my own battles to give them the burial they deserved. And so I did what many before me had done. I collected the blades of the dead and interred them within the tomb of the errant sword. With Alamigo much settled since the initial reclamation of the city, I just had past time to pay respects to my fallen comrades. That is when I discovered the tomb in disarray and one of the duelist's swords missing. It seems such petty acts of larceny have become common of late, and although the resistance speaks of taking steps, the army has its hands full overseeing the restoration efforts. But it's said that unrest and dissent have largely disappeared under General Alden's command. Why the sudden rush of law-breaking? Well, now that the Imperials have been beaten back, those who once suckled from the Empire's teeth are forced to look elsewhere for the wealth to which they are accustomed. For some, this means taking up a life of banditry. And for the lowest among them, it means ransacking the resting places of their countrymen. A crime I do not intend to leave unpunished. As things stand, however, I have yet to deliver said judgment. This particular gang is uncommonly swift of foot, and I must temper my attacks lest I slay them ere learning the location of their stashed loot. Thus do I turn to you for assistance. Capturing these thieves alive will be far easier with an extra pair of hands. If it's extra hands you need, then count me in. Without red magic at your beck and call, nay, 'tis too dangerous for one still relearning their art. I've been practicing against the creatures of Madonna ever since we parted ways. My magics may not be what they once were, but I can cast the initiate spells well enough, I promise. The monsters of Madonna are not to be trifled with. It was a risky path to take at this stage of your training. I took risks, yes, but not foolhardy ones. If I don't push myself to my limits, then I'll never catch up to you or Serenia. I wager you not take no for an answer. Very well. But you do not leave my side, understood? Yes, thank you soon. You won't regret this. The 3 of us then. Bloodhow is where these Graverobbers ply their unsavory trade, and the edge of a graveyard is where we shall meet. Quite a bit away. I'm eager to show soon how far my training has come, but more than that, I'm just happy to be at a place where I can assist him again. I'd like to simply snatch up these Graverobbers, but they have proven an infuriatingly slippery foe. A foe who now knows my face. Which is why you, Serenia, must play the role of deceiver. Search the graveyard until I find the thieves in question. When convince them it's in their best interest to slink over here to the east. Once those scoundrels are too close to escape, Aria and I will spring our trap. Utterly unsuspicious. You're looking for trouble, mate? How big a fool do you have to be to just wander up to a gang like this? You should head eastward. I saw a patrol to the west. Soldiers, is it? Then we'd best be moving on. Thanks for warning, friend. Oh, and not that we doubt your word or anything, but you best come with us. Call it a show of good faith among thieves. We'll be waiting just up ahead. Don't you worry about our two mates. They went ahead to the east, just like you suggested, and us? Well, someone's got to eliminate the competition. I hope you didn't kill your man, because I did. Both look bound up, good. My power is a shadow to what it used to be, which made taking captive easier than expected. Scorch marks rather than incineration. Nicely done, Serenia. We caught these two completely off guard. And I must say, Aria, you exceeded my expectations. You made impressive progress in such a short length of time. Yes, I knew those lessons of the Mage's Guild were worth it, even if it was painful to begin at the beginning again. Oh, I see you've been cracking open as many books as you have monster skulls. Your dedication to the fundamentals has certainly paid off. Now, I counted 4 brigands the last time I was here. Knowing what I do of such villains, I assume the other two sought to waylay you? Yet here you stand with scarce a hair out of place. All jesting aside, I suspect your skills have surpassed my own. What trials must you have endured to forge such strength? I fought another star to save a world from oblivion. Another star. Even your adventures play out on a stage beyond my wildest imaginings. And this talk of Sin Eaters, was it? It sounds to me as if your battles took place on the edge of suffering itself, where the heart and steel of even the mightiest red mage would be tested. But while it's endlessly gratifying to hear the exploits of one former student, I suppose we should return to the matter at hand. Once we had subdued these ruffians here, a few threads gleaned as the location of their ill-gotten gains. All buried in a box in the royal hunting grounds, or so they claim. I believe another division of labor is in order. Aria, pray hand our captives over to the resistance, and wait for us at the tomb of the errant sword. Serenia, you and I have some digging to do. Go ahead with soon. I have things under control here. When it comes to magecraft, though, I feel like for every 3 steps I take, you've taken another 10 or 20. Hero's privilege, right? Do you feel that? The ground, it's soft. Certainly as packed down as elsewhere. I think we found that cage. Oh, glad I am to have found this before they hauled it off to the black market. I cracked the lid to check the contents, and the box is indeed filled with stolen goods, including one familiar sword. Come, we should return these articles to the tomb. With any luck, Aria will have arrived already. Thank goodness you found the sword. I feared it had been sold. Right, let us return these relics to their rightful places. That should be the last of them. But what of your comrade's blade? Oh well, would you indulge me in a moment of nostalgia? The man who wielded the sword suffered from shallow reserves of aether, and so he commissioned a weapon capable of channeling his energies in the most efficient manner. As you might imagine, the custom blade was forged, cost him a small fortune in coin. We would taunt him and his empty purse without mercy, of course, challenging him to become a mage worthy of such priceless steel. His reply to our jeering comments would always stay with me. Even should I fail to do this steel justice, it will remain long after I have perished. A kindred soul shall take up the sword, and then you will see my coin was wisely spent. His hopes for such a legacy died with the Crimson Duelists. I entombed this blade, believing that no new mage would rise to claim it. But I was wrong. You two stand here as living proof that our efforts to revive that red magic were not in vain. It was when I discovered the sword missing, when I was put in mind again of my comrade's words. And I wonder if he did not orchestrate this affair from beyond the grave, if only to remind me of his will. Serenia, you appear to have a distinct taste in weapons. This blade, I think, should belong to Aria. But I'm not even your student right now. I don't think I deserve to have it. I made a promise to you, did I not? That once you learn to harness your aether, I would take you under my tutelage once more. The way I see it, you have more than upheld your end of the bargain. Accept the sword, Aria. Be my apprentice and help me usher in a new future for the red. Are you still afraid of the spirits of the dead? It's not fear that stays my hand. Even should the shade of Soon's comrade come forth, I will not flinch from this honor. It is done. Let us present here this day swear a new oath, to fight for the common good with pure heart and unbending steel. Now she has indeed equipped it. Look, I've already hung it for my belt. This sword is heavier than my old one, but I mean to practice enough that having it there feels more a comfort than a burden. And so concludes our business here. But as much as I should like to accompany you back to Madonna, I fear my own pilgrimage must continue. This war with the Imperials has Alamigo teetering on the brink of uncertainty once more, and I must assume the situation is most taxing for you and your fellow Scions. Thus, for the time being, shall I keep my blade loose in its sheath. I may be but one man, but know that I shall remain vigilant against the Empire's machinations as I chart my course across the lands of Eorzea. I'm sorry that I cannot yet devote myself to your lessons, Aria. The demands of a road are such that I cannot take you with me, and still hope to move as swiftly. Your oath takes precedence, of course. I'm ecstatic just to know you'll be my mentor once again. Please stay safe on your travels. I appreciate your understanding, and I will stop by to aid your progress in Revenant's Toll whenever circumstances permit. I take my leave then. Fare you well, Serenia. When next we meet, I expect your scarlet hue shall be ever the more vivid. Shall we make our way back to Madonna then? I've been so consumed with restoring my magic, but now I have a new goal. Learning to wield my new sword with perfect execution. With Thrune's instruction, I mean to become a red mage worthy of his comrade's weapon. And I wouldn't say no to any help from you either, Serenia. Red on arrival 3. Dualistic Duelist. That's the title we get here. Fair you. I've been spending every day training, of course. I want to be worthy of wielding the blade that Thrune bequeathed to me. He may not be able to guide my every step while he's still on his pilgrimage, but he did set a task to own my skills. No more slaying stray monsters out in Madonna. I'm to put my magic to use helping those in need and learn what it means to strive for the greater good. It may be a training exercise, but it almost feels like I've become an adventurer, just like you and Thrune. And maybe with enough practice, I'll become just as accomplished. Walking Alize's path, yeah? Because she too did that. Anyway, with that I end this episode about the Red Mage. Until next time then, when we play more Final Fantasy XIV. I'm Mace and don't get lost.